Hello, and welcome to this edition of AgeWise. I'm Dan Lagani, the CEO of Silver Solutions, the company whose mission is to help make it safer and easier for you and the whole family as you grow older. Today in AgeWise, we dig into a fascinating topic, and that's technology and how we can use technology to stay more connected to our aging parents and our loved ones, especially during this moment in the pandemic. We're speaking to our guest, Monica Vila. Some of you may know her as the Online Mom, where she and a network of influencers on Facebook cover the topics of how we bring technology into the home and into our families. We've got a range of different areas that we're going to explore with her on that. And we'll also talk to Monica about what it was like to be a daughter of an aging parent from very far away. So without any further ado, Monica, welcome to AgeWise.
Hey, Dan, thank you. Thrilled to be here with you.
You know, Monica, the online mom, I know, has been an important part of what you've done for many years now. Give us a little bit of backdrop. How did you come up with the idea and what started you down that road?
Yes, so the Online Mom was launched to help families embrace technology in what we call the most beneficial way. Basically, parents were concerned about the technology that their kids had at home, things like their cell phones or, even just TV watching. And so we launched this community of moms that would help other parents embrace technology in a safe and nurturing way.
Today, we're kind of turning the focus from you as a parent or you as a mom to you as someone that has an older parent. So let's talk about what are some of the things and some of the best technologies that we can be cognizant of to stay connected to our parents, especially during the pandemic.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that family these days means not just your kids, but also your parents. We've all heard the term, parenting your parents. For me, it started, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so when I was helping them both navigate technology, but also big decisions, whether they should move, things like that. And so it was really kind of important at the time when my parents were very mobile and thriving to have them understand and embrace technology so they could stay connected with our family. All of us were spread all across geographies, and so that was kind of the first motivation: was how do we stay connected with them? How do we make sure they see the grandchildren, and be part in some way of family life?
I mean, clearly, one of the beneficiaries of what's been happening with sheltering in place and people not working in a communal workspace has been Zoom, right? It's a technology that has become ubiquitous, over the past several months. In addition to Zoom, what are some of the other things that you think we can bring into the home or that may be good, smart mobile technology to help stay connected to mom or dad or to even help keep them safe?
Yeah, this largely depends on the technology they currently use. Our seniors will have either an Android or an iOS device, and Zoom is just one platform. Actually, you can do the free version, but Google Meets is also free, and it's a very robust platform. You can use that on both systems. But it's important to kind of decide which system your parents are in so that you can provide the best recommendations. If they are on the iPhone, and that's what they use, then FaceTime is a great option. It's probably the highest quality video you can get. And just, clicking that FaceTime icon seems to be a very easy process to coach our seniors to use. But alternatively, if they're on Android, there is obviously Zoom and Google Meets. You can use Skype and other ways to stay connected. But most importantly, I think for our seniors is if you teach them one thing on their device every time that you have a contact with them, then they learn a little bit more and they enjoy their device a little bit more. You show them how to use their banking apps, how to book restaurants, perhaps just a little bit at a time. Then they can really embrace their technology in ways that they can enjoy, but also use.
You know, Monica, I know over the years that you've worked with a number of different marketers in the different roles that you've done professionally. So many companies don't focus on older adults when it comes to marketing. Are there companies that you know of or have worked with that you think are doing a better job of engaging the senior population?
Well, from the hardware side, I think that Google does a really good job. Apple does a really good job. I laughed at one of the Apple announcements when a lot of the negative commentary was that the Apple Watch was, officially for seniors, and that was somehow a bad thing. Um, I also think that some other providers go the extra step to coach seniors. Verizon does a great program for 55 plus at many of their stores where people come in for free and they just learn how to use their device a little bit better and a little bit more.
You know, you talked about this a little bit earlier, but I wanted to come back to it because I do think the idea of how you make an older adult more comfortable with technology is very important. Kaiser Foundation actually just released a report yesterday on the spike in telemedicine during the COVID outbreak. And one of the statistics that stood out to me was that over the age of 70, it's under 2/3 of the number of seniors over the age of 70 use the internet. So, in addition to a piece at a time, which was one of the recommendations you gave earlier, what else can we do to make mom or dad more comfortable and more willing to engage with whether it's their Android device, their iPhone, their iPad? Any recommendations?
Yeah, I think you need to obviously start with broadband, because once you can make sure that the senior environment, the house, the apartment, or the space that they're in. My mother was in an assisted living facility and she had her own internet um, broadband in her suite. I think you need to start there. If you have access to fiber optic, things like Fios, or otherwise just simply, now 5G is going to offer some very fast speeds for home. I think what you want to do is start there. Because, for example, things like Alexa or the Google devices, the smart speakers, you can actually call 911. If someone falls, you can say, Alexa, call 911. But if there's no broadband, then that's never going to connect. And so you got to start with the broadband. You got to start with a service that's super reliable, that's not going to fail. And I wouldn't skimp on how many megabytes or speeds you get. Really get strong speeds because it's life and death.
Monica, you've referenced your parents, so you're not only someone today that speak to us about your expertise with technology and how you bring it to the home and the family, but your role as a daughter. You and your mom didn't live locally. What are some of the experiences that you went through and the learnings that you've had that may help some other people who are in a similar situation?
Well, yeah, this is why I love Silver Solutions so much because it would have answered so many of the concerns that I had, not being local to her, and just kind of really using video and things that were not ideal to help her find a new apartment, and help her set up. But it's a lot of conversation, a lot of support, and a lot of frustration that you have to get through, which is why having someone that can be your partner. I enrolled some cousins and other people that she had nearby, but those are favors. That I mean, they were lovingly and helpful towards her and me, but being remote is a really big challenge, and I couldn't travel to see her, to be with her during that process. But you have to. It's just a lot of constant support, ideas. I persuaded her to turn over her bank accounts to me, which for a fiercely independent person, that's a big effort. But I was worried about scammers and hackers and just people that take advantage, sadly, of the elderly. So being remote is a very big challenge, and you always need definitely a partner that can help navigate that process for both.
Without a doubt. We hit on a lot of great things today. Before we wrap up, give me the top two or three recommendations for anybody that has an older mom or dad and the technologies that they should be aware of, number one. And then number two, the ways that they can help make their mom or dad more willing to engage with those technologies to stay connected and safe.
I'd have two advices. One, again, is make sure their technology is the best you can buy. Do not buy value stuff, value networks, low broadband levels. I would not skimp on that. It's your peace of mind as well as their safety. This is really important. So go with the leaders in each field and focus on excellent broadband. That would be my first recommendation. And the second is be patient and be incremental about what you want them to learn. Oftentimes, you have just a little amount of time and you're like, okay, I'm going to show you these 5 apps you need to learn. Start slow, watch how they use them, focus on the important things. In these workshops I was alluding to that we were a part of at various points in Florida, we focused on things like safety when you bank. Don't use an open Wi-Fi when you bank. So simple but essential things is an incremental would be the second advice. You have a lot of knowledge that you can pass on to your elderly parents or aunts or other relatives. Just do it incrementally and patiently.
Monica, before we go, the online mom, how can people remain connected to you and be aware of what you're continuing to speak about on a regular basis?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Dan. Facebook.com/theonlinemom is a great resource. We're posting a lot. We used to post so much more about kids, but we now obviously speak about all of the technology that comes into the home for all levels. So feel free to stop by. We have some features on Silver Solutions as well on there.
Monica Vila, the online mom, thanks so much for joining us at AgeWise today. If you like this episode of AgeWise, please feel free to share it with friends. And if you're interested in seeing past episodes, visit us at silversolutions.com. Just press the video button and you'll see all of the episodes of AgeWise and even a new series that we launched called This Week. For all of us here at Silver Solutions, I'm Dan Lagani. Stay safe and be wise.